What's up everyone, Matt here with the hat. Today we're checking out the latest Play Series instrument from Native Instruments, Empire Breaks. Empire Breaks packs the timeless essence of classic sample-based drums into an inspiring Play Series instrument that unlocks the rhythmic sound of golden era hip-hop. Every kick, clap, tom, and hat is captured from brand new, vintage-style drum recordings, processed with classic gear and delivered with multiple velocity layers for kits that sound totally natural. This Play Series includes about 250 sounds, 30 kits, and about 500 MIDI files featuring my personal favorite, the drag and drop, where you can use it in any DAW. First, let's check out some of these presets. Today, I want to work on this old school funk style track that I made in Logic. It really needs some dope drums, so let's layer in a few instances of Empire Breaks and see what it can do. First, let's play this thing back. Then we get to the hook. Gonna skip forward. The verse is a simplified version of the hook. Part 2 of the verse. From here it goes back to the hook again, but let's skip forward and go to the bridge. After this, we go to a build section, which takes us to the final hook. Cool, now you know the layout of the song, let's open up Empire Breaks. The main page of Empire Breaks is similar to other Play Series drum instruments. You have your macro knobs down at the bottom. This is your kit, which has all your sounds in it. On the kit page, it gives you the details of each sound. You get 4 insert effects per slot, which is really amazing. You have your pitch, tune, all your envelope settings up here, and then you can also go through and change samples simply by clicking the search icon. Here on the pattern page, this is probably where I spend most of my time, mainly because I love the patterns that come with all these kits. They really make it easy to flip through all the patterns and drag and drop. You also have settings for the feel of the drums. Now let's go over to the effects page. Here you have your insert effects, which I showed you before for each sound. You also have global effects. These affect the entire kit as a whole and are typically mapped to the macros at the bottom of the page. When I move this macro, it changes multiple parameters of that effect. You also get 2 effect sends, which are typically reverb and delay. Then we get to the macro page where you can really break down where all the macros are mapped to. Back on the pattern page, let's hit play and flip through a couple of these patterns. I really like how everything just lines up and locks in because it allows me to experiment with different patterns while keeping my track playing in the background. Let's use the drag and drop feature and pull some of these MIDI files onto the track. We gotta add a fill in there. Cool, got that in there. I'm just gonna move a couple things around, quantize it, and let's play it back. One thing I love about a lot of these plugins is they give you the ability to do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. So for instance, I'm going to automate the tune knob to pitch down right at the end of the hook. And while we're here, I'm also going to automate the low pass filter to slowly filter out at the same time. So I went ahead and copied this over to my other hooks, and I also added a ride bell to the final hook just to give it a little bit more energy. That's one of the reasons I love using the MIDI drag and drop instead of just playing the patterns, because it gives you more flexibility with customizing your sounds. Now that you have the MIDI in your DAW, another cool thing you can do is change the entire kit while keeping your pattern. I actually really like how this one sounds. Let's move on to the verse. So that's the first part. Then we have the second part, which gives us a little more room for percussion. Let's do what we did in the beginning and drag some of these patterns over. This is a really cool looped pattern to end a phrase. Again, since this part's so empty, we can get away with adding more percussion in it, so we'll just loop this a few times. And this is the same section with more scratching, so we'll use the same pattern with less percussion, and we'll add another looping piece at the end. All that's sounding great. I'm going to cut off a little piece of the fill before the build, and then let's add some more lo-fi. You can see how it moves all the parameters just by affecting the one knob. Now I'm just going to add a cry wah as an insert effect on my kick drum, because why not? And here it is with it. These drums just really fit into this part so perfect. Let's play this ending back. All right, last part here is this bridge and then the build. I really love how there's a lot of patterns that just add elements in and out. These little sample looping parts are going to be perfect for the build. Let's go ahead and drag some MIDI in and do some arranging. Those two work perfect together because the second one adds the hi-hat. And this one adds a ride bell, so now it slowly progresses and builds energy throughout. For the build, I'll drag in all the looping parts. So one thing I'm not liking is that the kick drums don't continue, so I'm going to copy them over. Again, this is just another reason why I like having the MIDI, so I can really manipulate it how I'd like. And that's how you make a build. Now let's just do some automation. I want these drums to start under a low pass filter from the bridge and then also from the build. That's great. I'm going to do the same thing for the build, and then we're also going to high pass the drums as the build ends. This is really coming together now. Last thing to do is just add some reverb. And while I could do this within the plugin, I'm just going to use Valhalla Verb and I'm just going to modulate it to turn up as the build comes towards the end. Then let's play the entire track back. That's Empire Breaks. Hit me with a like or a sub for the algorithm. Stay tuned for more videos on plugins and expansions, and check this one out over at nativeinstruments.com.